Hello. Okay, it's a rainy morning, very rainy. It poured down a few hours ago. It's really nice to wake up to that. And it's been raining a lot for the past few days. Definitely take a look. It's super overcast, a lot of cloud cover. See that? Thick, thick cloud cover. And I think it's really beautiful. I think it's beautiful. Some people don't like the rain. I like the rain because it slows things down. Slows a lot of things down. I think it helps us people kind of cool out. You know, maybe not be rushing around so much. Maybe be more pensive and thoughtful. Good morning. And, you know, just take some time to like slow it down a little bit and think about maybe some things that are not usually on our minds, you know, especially if you're still in one of those rat race kind of environments and you're busy trying to do the next thing and the next thing and next thing. You know, a lot of people are talking about that now, and a lot of people talk to me about that. I think particularly because of the life I've chosen and the life I've created, and that it's not like that anymore. I mean, I still have my moments, definitely, and my periods of just being way too busy, you know, having too many obligations, too many commitments, too many responsibilities, clients to respond to, work to do, you know, people to satisfy, things like that, including myself. And so it can get really, you know, it's just easy to get caught up in that cycle of always doing. And then that cycle is very depleting, you know, when you're just always rushing and running and meeting an obligation or filling the next thing. Pluviophile, what a beautiful word. Thank you, Jeff. Hey, Jeff. Pluviophile, I do love the rain. That's a beautiful word. I like language too. But yeah, you know, it's just easy to get caught up in a blur. It's like life becomes a blur when you're just focused all the time on, you guys like it? Let me show you some more of the beauty then, since you like it so much. There. When you're focused on just constantly rushing around and meeting obligations, like you miss actual life, like you miss this, right? If you were running around out here from pillar to post, you know, paying a bill or doing the next thing or doing your grocery shopping and, you know, all that kind of stuff, you don't even notice how beautiful this is, right? You're like, the rain sucks and I'm mad, that's wet, and traffic, beating your horn, and you know what I mean? Like being upset about it as opposed to just slowing down. And I spoke to someone, I messaged someone a few minutes ago, and we have been talking about some business opportunities. And I said, listen, you know, it's another really rainy day here, and so it's probably going to be slow. It's probably going to be really slow. And his response was like, well, push through. And I'm like, I know, you know, I will make my phone calls. I'll do what I can do, but just understand that in this country at least, and in this town for sure, when it rains like this, and it's been raining, as I said, in succession for days upon days now, not a whole lot of stuff is getting done. You know, I mean, some people can't work. Some people's livelihood depends upon being dry. Like I know someone who's an electrician. He said to me the other day, he's like, you know, like there's a lot of things he cannot do. You're Rain Man, Jeff? And I said, I'm gonna call you Rain Man from now on. Dustin. Yeah, but he was just, his work is outside, this guy. And so, you know, he was like, well, can't do much today. And so on the one hand, maybe it's kind of not good for him for business. On the other hand, it's like, great, all this free time, you get to relax, you get to enjoy, you know, cozy up, have a good meal, those kinds of things that are really beautiful. And so let's not miss the beauty, people. And so it had me thinking just more broadly, not just about rain, right? I mean, that's sort of the obvious, what is it, like background for this thought that I have. But the more nuanced thought I have is that it's sort of a metaphor, right, for life. When we're so caught up in all of the what's in front of us, the immediate things to do, the tasks on your list, the you know, the to-do list, all the stuff that's running around your head that keeps you up at night, that makes you feel stressed out that you have to do, we're missing all those little bitty things, those little bitty pieces of like, wow, in this moment, you know, there's a little orange, some kind of a little orange insect, this little bug, and I see a lot of them now. They're actually really cute. right? And if I could just sit here and like watch it like walk around and do what it does. But if I'm just stressed out about, oh my God, I got to do this and respond, I'm never going to notice that cute little bug, or I'm never going to maybe pay attention to, wow, you know what? I keep seeing birds fly over there in that tree. I think there's a nest in there, you know, or whatever it is. I mean, for your own life, if we are just so caught up in the constant doing, or not just doing, but also expecting things to be good, we expect it to always be sunny, we expect it to always, you know, feel good in life. It's not always going to feel good. It's not always going to be sunny, and sun doesn't always mean good, and rain doesn't always mean bad. A lot of people are like, oh, I hate the rain, and you know, just it slows things down, all that stuff, and it's just a pain in the butt. I'm like, well, I don't see it that way. I love it. I love the rain because it slows things down. I love it because it's like cleansing. It just makes you chill out. And I think we all need to chill out. So, you know, I think it's just a way of looking at things. I was with some people last night, and someone made a comment about happiness. And she said that she felt like when there's people who are just always happy, 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 and she kind of made that expression like happy, happy, happy all the time, that it was false. She really couldn't relate to that. That it was like, that's not real. No one's, you know, how can you be happy all the time? You know, it's like that doesn't make sense. And so she sort of didn't trust that. And you know, different people had different opinions about it. And my thought was, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know that anybody's happy all the time. I mean, you can choose. Oh, I know. Someone else said, well, you can choose to be happy, and you can. It's always a choice, and you can focus on what makes you feel good. And you know, that was someone else's comment, and I get that, and I live by that a lot. It's like a muscle I practice. You know, exercising, and I shared that. But my thought, look at this little bug. See this little orange guy? I'm gonna try and get him. He's running away. Hope he doesn't bite me and I die. He doesn't want to come in my finger. See what I'm saying? If I were rushing around, I would not be able to show you. You want to see this little tiny insect? Probably not. You're like, Kelly, really? Are you showing us the insect, Kelly? Oh, look, he's getting on me now. Look how cute this guy is. Okay, so if I were rushing around, I would not be seeing this little tiny, oh, shoot. Oops. Uh-oh. You'll be okay. Oh, well, anyway. Wouldn't have had that experience if I were rushing around. Okay, so the happiness thing. So my thought about happiness was, well, I think that in order to really experience happiness and be like, oh my gosh, like really know what that feels like, you have to have the opposite sometimes. You have to feel sad too. You have to feel not happy. You have to experience unhappiness to know the joy of happiness, right? If we didn't have anything to compare it to, if there were no contrast, how do you call it happy? What does that mean? It would just be, it is. It would just be what it is. And so that's another reason I think the rain is beautiful. Because, yes, Jeff, you're so deep today. Oh my goodness gracious. Yes, it's beautiful, isn't it? If it's just always rosy and wonderful and fabulous, there's nothing, you know, it's like what makes one great day different from another one, right? I mean, so living here, it's mostly happy all the time. Mostly happy, sorry, someone sent me a message. It's mostly sunny all the time, right? It's warm, it's 70s, 80s, even up into the 90s and stuff. Most of the year, like 80, 90% of the time, it's beautiful, which is great. That's why a lot of people like to come here, where they like to, you know, spend time and, you know, vacation here and live here and whatever. And so, for example, there's people who are vacationing here right now and they're probably not happy that it's raining. And I get that, you know, you don't pay your money to come to a beach and then it rains every day. That's a bummer. But number one, if it did not rain heavily at times, it wouldn't be as green. It just doesn't work that way. You know, look at places that are just sunny and hot all the time. That's called a desert, right? Desert. Maybe, you know, there's life, subterranean life, and like the cactuses are supporting something, but it's not lush and abundant like things moving. We need this rain, right? And so in our lives, we actually do need some down times. And when I say down, I don't mean just like relaxed. I mean, sometimes we need to feel a different emotion besides being happy. And so if you are going through a period in your life where you're not feeling good, where you're not feeling like you're getting what you want out of it, like you're feeling like life is somehow letting you down, maybe refocus that, maybe reframe your perspective to be like, hey, this is giving me a chance to appreciate when things are good. This is giving me a chance to appreciate, you know, how are you choosing those thoughts? Are you feeling like, okay, life is shit right now? You know, my job, my money, my relationship, my body, my whatever it is, my attitude is shit. And so therefore, you know, I have nothing to feel good about. What are you talking about, Kelly? It makes no sense. Okay, you could think that and you could say that for a while. And frankly, I think it's good when you have a sad feeling or when you have a frustrated feeling, feel that feeling. It's like, I think we're too busy always trying to get away from it. So we drink it away, or we sex it away, or we smoke it away, or we do, you know what I'm saying? We just, people always are trying to run away from not feeling great all the time. But it's like, if we weren't supposed to feel those other emotions, why would we have them? There's a balance. I think there's a balance, and I don't think it gets stuck in the down feelings. I don't think it's good to be stuck with depression and, you know, despair and hopelessness. That's not my point. But I am saying I think it's important to understand that those feelings have a place, and they give you an opportunity to explore what is it that what's making me feel this way. Is it situational? Is it because, yeah, so my money's really funky and so I'm trying to figure it out and I feel stressed out? Is it because I'm really unhappy on this job? You know, is it something like that? Or am I just dissatisfied in this moment because I can't have what I want? I think that's different. So anyway, so earlier this week, was it this week? I think it was. Yeah, I had one of those days where I was like, what am I doing? I had one of those times where I was like, what am I doing? What's my purpose? And what's my next move? And, oh, you know, I was having that kind of a day. Like, what is going on? And it was very, very rainy that day. It was just, so my mood fit, or the weather fit my mood or whatever. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing in my life. And what's the point? And what have I even done? Have I even done anything worthwhile? And I just had, I was like, everything. Let me just throw it all in there. I mean, I'm exaggerating a bit for a dramatic effect, but you get my point. And so I began to really think about that. I had a conversation with a friend about it and shared all this stuff. And honestly, in just talking through it, I was like, you're so fine, you know? And not like, okay, great, I get to be happy right away. But it's like, just process that stuff, you guys. I guess what is the point of this today? Why am I even talking to you? I think the point of it, first of all, is to show you that, look, I get to be all snuggled up. I have on, look at this, I even have on warm, cozy socks. This never happens. And a blanket out here on my patio. It was so awesome. But I think the point is that I think a lot of people, well, let me say this, from the people who write to me and share their feedback with me about my channel and the content that I share, I think a lot of people have the impression that I live this life that's just always rainbows and sunshine and everything. And I mean, I do live a good life, right? I've chosen certain things to put me in a position to experience a life that I enjoy 90% of the time. I mean, I find a lot of value and meaning in my life. And when I say value, I'm not talking about money. I just mean like personal fulfillment. And that is a beautiful thing. And that was done by design. But understand that to get there, I went through a lot of stuff that was not comfortable. You know, so many of you may know I'm a lawyer, right? And I did not take the traditional path out of law school. Pretty much everybody I know in law school who went before me and after me in other law schools and all that stuff went to the big firms, made a whole bunch of money and, you know, toiled away and did all these things. I didn't do that. I was like, I'm not doing the interview thing that most people do. I'm just not, I didn't want to. Why? Because everybody I saw who did that hated it. Like, no exceptions. Everybody hated it. And they were like making all this money, but they were working like crazy people. And nobody really seemed to enjoy the experience. So I was like, well, I don't need to put my hand on the fire to know what's hot. I don't want to do that. I want to use the knowledge I'm gaining and the skills I'm gaining for something different. So I took a very different path. I mean, you know, I went to the federal government and whatever, I had a different path. And, you know, so I probably made half to a third of what other people make. Do I overthink things? Of course I do. Can you tell? Of course I do. But I'm a thoughtful person. So I made a lot less money, but I also had way more free time. And I just, generally, I think I enjoyed my life more. And trust me though, along the way, I was like, am I doing the right thing? Hey, Alba. Hi, everybody. I see you guys saying hi, checking in. Hi, everybody. It's rainy here. And I'm talking about the rain and moods and everything and decisions we make when it feels like that. So anyway, my path to getting here wasn't like, win, 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 win. Every day is great. Everything's amazing. Everything's. Oh, thank you, Tina. What a wonderful thing for you to say. Yeah, I'm super imperfect. I had a conversation with a friend of mine this morning. He's like, Kelly, you sound like a Dominican woman. I'm like, well, you know, we were talking about men. I was like, well, I said, it's not just Dominican women. There's a lot of women who think this way. Anyway, that's a different video, a different conversation for another time. What I'm talking about today is that I did not arrive at this place of my life because of some perfect plan or some, a perfectly executed series of steps. Not at all. I like backed into a lot of this. I used to feel like a flake, okay? Because, it's always like, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? And what's your career plan? What's your objective and all this? And for a long time, I could not answer that question because nobody I knew was doing what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be a baker, a banker, a candlestick maker. I didn't want to do any of those things. I knew, here's what I used to say. I used to call it being the man or the liaison because I was like, I really love people. I love connecting people and helping them figure out and solve problems. What is that? What job is that, right? For a while, I wanted to be a diplomat. I had no idea how to become a diplomat, but I wanted to be a diplomat because I wanted to like live in foreign countries. Imagine that, right? Be able to speak different languages, go to amazing parties. Let's be clear. I like to be fabulous. I don't look like it right now, but I do like to be fabulous and dress up and just, have amazing experiences that everyone doesn't get. And so, hi, Hugh. Emotional awareness is so important, you guys. Thank you, Hugh. See what I'm saying? If you don't have a connection to yourself and to the world around you, I feel like you're missing out on a lot. And especially in Western, what they call culture, honestly, there's a lack of culture because we're like robots, we're automatons just going. And we've been programmed, you know this, right? We've been programmed to do the work so that the puppeteers can sit back and, they live on the island or they do whatever they're doing. And the rest of us are the worker bees supporting that structure. And I'm like, I don't want to support that structure because that structure doesn't make me happy. What makes me happy is to have time in my day where I can relax, where I can sit up on my porch with a cup of tea, which I had this morning, and curl up and just ponder. Just ponder life sometimes. I don't want to be always busy with stuff. Yes, I do overthink. And I recognize that being in a constant state of overthinking is not good for me. It is not good for me. Can I tell you guys? Because of some of the rearranging of my life that I've done recently, I've slept so well the past few days. I don't look like it right now because I had to get up early because my internet, whatever, my car battery went out last night and there was that. But generally speaking, I just feel so good. I've made some significant changes recently in the way I'm doing my business and the way I'm thinking about living my life. And it's not super clean and neat and like, oh, I get it, it's all organized. It's messy. It is messy making big changes. It is scary making big changes sometimes. It is overwhelming going, oh shit, now I have to create a whole new structure and a whole new series of, ways to do the things I want to do and to get to the places I want to be in terms of how I live my life, right? So for example, one thing I'm doing is I have to create some structure. Those of you guys who are writing to me saying, hey, I want to know, what do you think about this? And how about that? And I have this business idea. And can you tell me about this? And what about all these things? I love you. I do. I appreciate you. And I'm so happy that you're writing to me. And I'm so thrilled that you feel inspired. But guess what? I don't have time to talk to every single person. I cannot be answering all the emails with all this information. So what's going on? You go to my website, freeislandgirl.com. There's a scheduling link on there. You can schedule some time for me. Yes, it's paid time because hello, like people, this is value and this is like a service. And so, and listen, understand, I was doing a lot of this stuff for free for a long time. In fact, that's how I ended up writing the DR Go book that I wrote. Because initially when I was on this channel, I started, like right now I share information, I just talk about whatever. And people apparently were finding value. So I was getting questions all the time about residency and healthcare and schools and buying a car and, all those types of things, like again and again and again. And for probably some months, I was responding to every single person, like in detail, answering all their questions and doing all this stuff. And it was great. And I felt really good about it. I'm like, oh, I'm helping people. This is wonderful. But not very long after that, I was exhausted. I'm like, wait a second, this is taking me hours. I was spending hours of my days, like, not quite daily, but frequently, doing this. And I was like, oh, duh, it finally occurred to me, Kelly, you're getting a lot of the same questions. There's value here. Write a book. Write a book. So I did, right? Did I want to write that book necessarily and go and do all that research and spend the time it took me to like organize this? Because I got, a chunk of information here and a chunk from there and a chunk, I mean, it wasn't just like, it didn't come to me all packaged like that. No, I had to sit my behind down, and on days when I didn't feel like it, pull out my computer and start, collating the information, deciding, okay, this should go here, no, that goes there, and let me contact this person and double check. Like, there was work that went into that. And I've sold a bunch of books, and people have written me and said, oh my gosh, thank you. The site's name, can I type in the site's name? Let me see, my website? It's super easy, it's freeislandgirl.com. I don't know how to do it, I don't want to mess it up. I'm sorry. Low tech. I'm low tech. freeislandgirl.com. There's a link on there that says scheduling. You click that link, and here's the deal. You can either schedule 15 minutes or 30 minutes. We don't need to talk for an hour. We do not need to talk for an hour. You need to condense your questions, condense your thoughts, hit me, and I'm going to give it to you. Okay? You want to just chat all day? Then book 2 30-minute sessions, and we can chat all day. But seriously, like, I have had to restructure, and that's just like the base level stuff. I have some other things that I'm in the process of doing, which is like, okay, now I've got to, I know what I want to do, but it's like figuring out how to make stuff happen. And so back to this whole rain thing, part of what puts me at my best and makes me able to deliver stuff to you and to other clients is having time where I'm not scheduled. I cannot be busy all the fucking time. I can't. I'm gonna be a bitch. My son told me recently, oh, this is interesting. He said to me a couple weeks ago, he said, Mom, you know what? I was like, what? He goes, your favorite cuss word is shit. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, that's your favorite one. I'm like, do I say it a lot? He goes, yeah, if you get mad about something, you're like, oh, shit. Or something, whatever. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible mother. But, whatever. It's true, I do say that. So anyway, as you know, if you watch my videos from time to time, it flows out. This is reality TV. This is real reality TV. This is no makeup, no frills. I did brush my teeth. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing, it's just what it is. But I also give you guys a lot of truth, like a whole bunch of truth here. Because I don't think what's the purpose if I'm not going to do that? So anyway, to use myself as an example, as I said, to get from here where I am, or wherever anybody is, right, to the place you want to be, is going to involve some level of upheaval, discomfort, uncertainty, fear. Oh no, I gotta change. I have to reevaluate. I have to maybe start over, right? Maybe you've been working under one system, maybe you've been dealing in one way in your relationship. It's not working for you anymore. It doesn't work for you anymore. You're not happy. You're not getting the satisfaction you want. You've been eating a certain way and your body doesn't look like you want it to look. Hello. I went back to the gym this week because I was on the beach. It was super sunny last week and I went to the beach and I bought new bathing suits. And I was like, no, this is not how I want to look in my bathing suit. So you get my behind back in the gym. I've been doing tennis, but I wanted like that carved out, I want the like super spot treatment. And so these days when, we are forced to slow down, but did I bathe? I bathe all the time. Are you kidding me? I didn't wash my hair today. I washed my hair yesterday, so it's a little funky today. You know what it is? See, where's my little thing? I had it tied up and I took it down, so it's a little fuzzy. Whatever, Jeff. You guys, Jeff is my friend from home. Don't let him throw you off the scent of truth. Oh, Jeffrey, behave. Jeff Sanders. I know where you live. Actually, I don't know exactly where you live, but I know where you live. Close enough. So when you have down times, whether it's downtime like temporal, like time, like what time is it? Or just a period when you feel like things are out of whack, or you're not really sure, like I was like, what is my life? What is my purpose in life? You have those things. Don't despair. That's part of it. Sometimes that's like, I think that's the time for us to maybe pull back, retreat a little bit, and just curl up, figuratively, but just maybe assess. I was talking to someone the other day. Okay, so I was in the bank, all these experiences, right? I was in the bank. I think it was that same day. Was it? I think it was that same day, like, what is my life day, right? I had to go to the bank. I'm in line at the bank, and this woman calls another friend of mine put me in touch with this woman, right? And we start talking. She's another expat. She lives in Mexico. And she's also a therapist, right? And I started saying, I don't know, and what should I do, and all that. And I was like, I'm about to cry in the bank. I cannot talk to you right now. I mean, I didn't say it like that, but I was like, I'm feeling like, what am I doing with my life? And she goes, oh, I think I said to her, like, what's the plan? What's my plan? Like, what am I gonna do? What's my next move, right? And I'm a bit of an overachiever, I admit, and that can be an Achilles heel sometimes, because you're always trying to get to the next thing, right? And strive and succeed. And I was in that moment of like, okay, but now what am I gonna do? And she's like, well, Kelly, maybe the plan now is to have no plan. Ding. And I was like, oh, yes. Honestly, when I heard her speak those words, I was like, that is exactly what I need to be doing. I don't want to have a plan. I don't want to figure anything out. I don't want to have to execute, at least not today. I don't want to have to be responsible for delivering something to someone. I mean, I do my job, right? But I'm saying in general, like, I got to turn my brain off. Oh my God. And it was like the best thing. It was like permission. That's what I'm trying to share with you guys. Give yourselves permission to just stop sometimes. Like, I don't know. The groceries will get bought. The kitchen will get cleaned. The kids will learn. Whatever. But not at every moment. Maybe not today. Maybe you don't make dinner today. Maybe it's, hey, calling pizza. Maybe it's like, figure out your own meal. My son can cook now. I'm like, hey, there's some pasta in there. There's some salmon. There's some chicken. He can cook a bunch of stuff, which is beautiful. And so sometimes he does. And frankly, sometimes I'm like, you want me to cook you something? He's like, no, I'm going to cook. I'm like, okay, great. And I think, again, it's important to not only to take that time when you feel like at the brink, like that day I was like at the brink, like, oh, I just felt too stressed out. And again, on this autopilot of always having to produce and do and make this next fabulous thing happen and, satisfy my viewers or whatever it is. And instead of getting to that point where you feel like you're about to lose it, just stop. Just, plan some time for nothing in your schedule. How about that? How about instead of being overscheduled, how about be underscheduled on purpose? How about, so I have a chunk of time, maybe it's 3 days a week. I think I said this before to you guys, and certainly to myself. I'm not doing anything before 10 o'clock on whatever given day. Or, Thursday, tell whoever it is I'm in meetings all day. It's a self-care day. And sometimes I think people feel guilty about that, or they feel like, oh, you're cheating. No, you're not. No, you're not. You know why? Because if you're not okay, nothing's going to get done, or it's going to get done really poorly, or you're going to bitch at your kids or bark at your wife, or, what I'm saying, you're just going to feel terrible. And whatever you do won't be the best quality that you could do if you are doing it from a place of emptiness and like stretching and trying to force it through. Nobody wants that. You don't want that. Think about like a lover. If you were having an experience with someone, a loving experience with someone, but that person has been like drained all day and like covering this and making sure that happens and taking care of this and responding to that and making this deadline and handling the this and blah, 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 whatever. And then they come to you for that loving experience. How much do you think you're going to get out of that? You're going to get depleted, tired, maybe even grouchy energy from that person. And is that going to fill you up? No. If anything, you'll be pouring into them, which is okay. But sometimes, you want to be like a mutual thing, right? You want to both feel good about it. But if one person's just like dead and can barely even be responsive to you, that's not satisfying. And so why would you do that to yourself? Why, when you love yourself, would you take yourself through all of the stuff that we take ourselves through on the daily, and then wonder how come, the results you're getting in any area of your life are not satisfying? Well, stop doing so much. I'm talking to myself. I'm preaching to myself. Can I get an amen? Can I get church? Me, I was recognizing it. I was spread way too thin, doing too much, just trying too hard. And frankly, sometimes I had to, because some of the stuff was, okay, this chunk fell, I got to now, replace it and can I trust someone to do it right or whatever? You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, brings me back to the lovely rain and the cloud cover. Once again, take a good look, you guys. Take a good look at how beautiful this is. Right? How can you be mad at that? How can you be upset when you have a day like that? This is not a bad day, and it's not raining now, but you can see it's very cloudy. It was pouring down earlier. And, I mean, the sound of the rain even is beautiful. It's like a symphony, you know? And certain things happen when it rains that don't happen when it's not raining. So take advantage of the time that, you know, we're given. When it seems like it's bad, consider that maybe not. Maybe it's an opportunity instead, right? This whole thing about being happy, happy, happy all the time. Sure, be happy, but when you don't feel happy, consider it as an opportunity. Well, what's going on? Check in with yourself. Maybe it means just slow down. Maybe your sadness or your depression or you're being frustrated and, you know, having like a short temper is trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell you something about how you're living your life or how you are managing your relationships or how you're managing your time or whatever. So instead of feeling like it's a bad thing to avoid, embrace it and go, oh God, you know what? I'm so glad I'm feeling like this. It's like me the other day when I was all freaked out and like, oh no, what should I do? It completely helped me see you need to slow your behind down and just chill. I mean, it was really very simple. A lot of times things are simple, but they're not easy for us because we're so programmed to do and to produce and maybe not even to look like, hey Morena, to look like we're okay, right? How often, you know, people, you're like, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm great, how are you? I'm fine. No one ever says, you know what, I'm kind of sad today. I'm really exhausted and I can just use a nap. Frankly, no, I need a hug. Can you just give me a hug? Nobody says that. Everyone's like, I'm good. I'm grinding. Like, stop grinding. Just chill out. But people don't talk like that. People don't talk really honestly. People tell you what they think they're supposed to say, what you think the answer is supposed to be. And the answer is always supposed to be that you're good and that you're happy and that life is great and everything's perfect and you have it all figured out. Who's there? Who has it all figured out? I don't know. Sisei Avera. Sounds like an Ethiopian name. Sisei, is that how I say it right? Sisei Avera. Thank you for that message. Yeah, I mean, I think first thing first, start with being honest with yourself. How are you feeling? Like, just check in right now. How are you feeling? Like, in your body, how do you feel? Do you feel tense? Do you feel short of breath? Are you breathing like from up here, short breaths? Oh, thank you. Okay, good, I got it right. Or are you breathing like from down low? I've been noticing that a lot lately. I've been noticing like, how am I breathing? And every time I pay attention, I'm like, okay, I notice I take deeper breaths. When I slow down and pay attention to myself, I notice that. And so notice yourself. When someone says, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm great, how are you? Is that just the autopilot answer? Are you great? If you're great, great. If you're not great, is it bad to say that? Is it a shameful thing to say, I'm kind of struggling today. I'm kind of having a hard time. You know, I feel like I'm, you know, I got too much with the kids. Simply, it's just one of those days. I'm not having a bad day. I had a bad day a couple days ago. Well, I mean, it wasn't even a bad day. It was a stressed out day because I was just doing too much. But yeah, I mean, some days are like that. Some days are not great. But my point is that a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that. They want to hide that. They want to act like it's great all the time, no matter what. Why? Why, people? I think that's a mistake. I know it was a mistake for me. I could tell by my reaction, right? If I'm breaking down in tears like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Hello, it's like signal to self, pay attention to what's going on. And in my case that day, I think it might have been Monday, I don't know, a few days ago, the moment, like I said, the one woman said, well, why don't, you know, the plan is not to have a plan. And I was like, oh, that felt good, right? And then I spoke to another friend later on, and in just talking through what I was thinking about, it was totally fine to just be in that space. So I'm saying, just give yourselves permission. It doesn't have to take a rainy day to do it, but sometimes the rainy days are good for that, right? Because we get to just do nothing, just sit still. And I have my big mug of water. I had tea, but I finished that, so I have my water. I went to the doctor recently. She told me I was dehydrated, so I'm trying to drink lots more water. It's just time to just be quiet, or just do whatever feels right. Maybe it's take a nap. Maybe it's go for a walk. Maybe it's watch a funny movie and laugh. Maybe it's be with friends. Maybe it's be alone. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's work out. Maybe it's be still. You have to figure it out, but you can't figure it out if you're so busy doing stuff, trying to hide what you don't want to see. Why not? See it. See it. The only way to fix it is to see it. Okay? My work here is done, I do believe. I hope you guys have a great day. And if you don't have a great day, it's okay. Have a crap day. But then, see what message is in that for you. All right. Mwah. I'm out. I love you guys. Oh, look. Just got a message from my mom. Perfect timing. I'm going to talk to the mom now. See you guys. Yes, and somebody asked me about my 2 weeks with a bit of a break. Being a non-mom for a little bit. It's wonderful. It's really nice. Adult time. Okay, love you. Mwah. Have a good day. Bye. I hope somebody heard that today. I hope somebody felt that message. I really do. I think it's an important one. Bye, guys.